Instagram or you're seeing me on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere, just put a hi message, okay, and where you're from. My name is Ravitej, and I'm a certified fitness trainer. And in today's session, we'll be covering about how do you read nutrition labels. Okay, so there are a lot of nutrition labels. You might be getting anything in your house. Okay, there will be things which is written here on the box. Okay, how many carbohydrates, proteins, fats, how do you read it properly? Okay, so if you are not understanding that, then you are missing out, and the companies might be fooling you to a very good extent. So I'll be covering today on how do you read the nutrition labels, how it all started, what is the history on that. Next one is what are the factors in any nutrition labels will be having. Okay, what all things will be mentioned in a nutrition label. Then the last one here is example. I'll be taking an example here, and if you're seeing on Instagram, maybe I'll not be able to show you exactly the screen, but you can follow me on YouTube, Tej Fitness, and there you can get to know about this example. Then what are the things to avoid in any nutrition label, any food item? What are the things to avoid, and how companies are trying to put it in a different terminologies. Okay, so that all we will be covering now. So let's get started in today's video. So the history of how the nutrition label got started is in 1970s. There are a lot of processed foods which were coming into US. Okay, so where to safeguard the consumer, to be making sure that consumer is aware what is there in this box, what is there in this food, they make sure that the nutrition label they printed out. Okay, this was from the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration authority in US. They made this mandatory so that anybody bringing any processed food into the market, any company, they should have a nutrition label into there. Okay, so that was the background. In 1972 it became as a new normal. 1970 it was getting started, and 1972 it became a new normal. Okay, so that's where the food labeling in the overall world it started, and later on it percolated to many countries, and one among them being India. Okay, so when you take any nutrition label, let's take an example here. I have here a protein powder. So we have here too many things, and I'm also gonna show you here in the screen that there are many aspects. There are many aspects when we come into the nutrition label. So when you see the box here, nutrition information, serving size, they will be written there, serving size, each serving size, how much it will be having, how many grams it will be having, and also the serving per container. Okay, so this has to be properly made sure. If you do not have awareness about it, then you might think that okay, each serving is the overall thing which I'm having, but in a container there might be 5 servings, 10 servings, so you need to multiply that into that many calories, then only you'll get to know that how much you are having. Okay, so here when we take example of this protein powder, so they gave here what all things will be there. So there are a total of 12 things in a nutrition label. It will be mentioned. So the first thing here is the serving size, which I mentioned. The serving size per scoop, how much it will be. It will be 30 grams, 40 grams, whatever is the serving size, they will be mentioned in there. Second thing is they will be mentioning the calories. They will be mentioning the calories there, how much calories you are having. Okay. So what does it mean? They will be mentioning the calories you're having per serving, not the entire box. Okay, so you need to multiply that into the number of servings they are having in the box. Okay, so this box is having 33 servings. So the calories what they will be mentioning is only one serving, that is for 30 grams. Okay, or in India it is probably about 100 grams. They will be mentioning the calories. So when you take any box, they will be written there. Yeah, take this example here. This is the cold pressed oil. This is a cold pressed oil, and this is nutrition values per 100 gram. They will written 100 gram. So what you do is you need to, if it is 500 gram or 1 kg, you need to multiply with that the same kind of things. Okay. So if you're seeing me on Instagram or on Facebook or anywhere else, just put the hi message in the comment box. Okay. And where you're joining from, which city you're joining from. Then in the third thing which will be mentioned is the total fat calories or total fat percentage, which will be mentioned. Then the saturated fat. Okay, so what is saturated fat? I'll be covering that also in example in the avoid section. In any fat, there is three things. One is saturated fat, other one is unsaturated fat, and third one is the trans fat. Okay, so the saturated fat is the bad fat, you can call it. So it will be in a solid state. The oils and everything will be in a solid state, which will be there. Next one will be a trans fat. Again, this one also, this is a hydrogenated oil. So what it means is they'll be adding a hydrogen element into the oil. Okay, so that the oil can be in a solid state and the shelf life of it can be for a longer time. Okay, so usually if it is in a liquid state, it will be coming for a certain duration, let us suppose few months. Okay, if they make it into a solid state and the hydrogen they add it, it might come to few years. So the shelf life, if they produce it, they can keep it for longer time, but it is harmful for us. There will be a lot of issues of cardiovascular diseases and other things which can arise due to the trans fat and saturated fat. Then the next thing is the cholesterol level. They will also be mentioning in the particular units. Then there will be sodium. What is the sodium content into the food? They will be mentioning that. Then next one is the total carbohydrates. In total carbohydrates, they will be writing the natural sugars, added sugars, all that. Then comes the dietary fibers. So fiber is important for our body for proper digestion and all other aspects, so that you are having a good bowel movement, all these things. Next come is sugars. So in carbohydrates only the sugars will also be mentioned. Then comes the protein. Okay, protein is very important. This is the building block for our body. So amino acids, if you take, that is the next level, or if you take a protein, it will be subdivided into amino acids. So it will be giving what kind of amino acids it is there, or how much grams of protein it is there in this box. They will also be mentioning there. Vitamins and minerals. There are total of 12 things which I mentioned. Okay, from the serving size till the vitamins and minerals. So these all will be mentioned in a nutrition label if it is of a very good company. If it is local company, probably they will not be mentioning too much. They will only be mentioning about carbohydrates, protein, and fat. These three things they will mention. They will not mention about anything else much. Okay, so that's about what is the nutrition label is going to consist of. Okay, the next example here is example of how do you read a nutrition label. Okay, how do you read a nutrition label? This is very, very interesting, and you need to be aware of this. How do you need read a nutrition label? Okay, so I'll try to make it more interactive, and I'll try to show you here near to the camera so that you are aware of it. Okay, so I have here other example, but let me show you this example. Okay, so I'm not endorsing any of the products here. It's just for example, I consume this product, so just example here. So the next one here, when we go to the example, so I'll be showing you total number of calories here, servings here. So this one, this particular, I don't know whether you can see it or not. This will be having per serving size of 30 grams, approximately 30 grams it will be having. And serving per container is 33 servings. 33 servings is the total servings. So if you see here, total is 30 into 33. That's the amount of grams. So it's about 1 kg box. So it's add up to that. Okay, 999 something grams it will be there, just 1 gram short of 1 kg. Okay, then next is the energy. Okay, if you take energy here, it will be giving, that is the calorie. Energy means the total calories what is there. It will be given in terms of two things. One is the per serving, that is 30 grams, how much energy you are getting, that has been mentioned here. So it will not be mentioning on the total 1 kg of box. It will be only mentioned on one serving of the food, one serving of whatever is there in the box. Okay, so if you see here, the energy or total calories is 108 calories. If you take one scoop of protein powder from this box, it will be consuming of 108 calories. Okay, that's what it indicates here. Now, if you take the entire box, you need to multiply this into 33. So 108 into 33 is the total calories in this box. Okay. So whenever you are having anything, any food, you need to ensure that you understand that what exactly in the container full box is there. If you are having a biscuit, if you are having any kind of snacks, so they will be giving you only one serving. But if that box is having two servings or three servings, you need to multiply that with that many calories. Okay. Next one is the protein. So this one, per 30 grams of the protein powder, it is having 23 grams of protein. So it's a very rich source of protein here. That's good. Okay. So if you're, let me give you an example. If you're having a Horlicks or if you're having some kind of a drink, protein shake, so you need to understand that how much they're giving you protein, how much they're giving you sugar, because most of the Indian products which they're saying that they are gonna give you like high protein, all these things, this is much of sugar there. You don't need sugar, you need protein. So next comes is fat. Okay, in fact they have given total of zero point 0.7 grams of fat is there in 30 grams of the overall product, one serving. So that is considerably okay. You also need fat in your body. It's required for your brain functioning, all these things. Next comes is saturated fat. So saturated fat is less than 0.5 grams per 100 grams. So usually what happens is, as per the norms, if the trans fat or saturated fat, if it is lesser than 0.5 grams, then the companies don't need to mention it. But this company has mentioned it. That's better. So trans fat is equal to less than 0.1 grams. So usually companies, what they do is they put zero and they'll start marketing that zero fat, zero trans fat or something like that. But this company has given here 0.1 grams of trans fat is there. Okay. So that is, I would not say that okay, because you will try to avoid trans fat as much as possible. But if it is for 100 gram, 0.1 gram, it's all right. Okay. Next comes is unsaturated fat. So you need to see that unsaturated. So factors you need to consider is saturated fat and trans fat. These are the factors which you can decide whether it is a good one or bad one. Okay, so if it is a good one, you can you should have a very less kind of trans fat and saturated fat. Next comes here is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is important. It gives you energy source, all these things. So, but if this is a protein powder, you require more of protein, not of carbohydrate, because our Indian diet is rich in carbohydrates. Whatever we eat from morning to evening, it's all filled of carbohydrates. So you need to decide based upon what food item you're buying. Okay, so here 4 grams of carbohydrate per 30 grams it is there. I think this is all right. Then the dietary fiber which we mentioned, dietary fiber is equal to 0.7 grams. Then sugar is there, 0.38 grams per 30 grams, which is all right. There will also be protein powders which doesn't have any sugar. So sodium is 95 mg. Okay, so in a day your sodium content has to be around lesser than 2300 milligrams. If it is more than that, then you can end up in having more sodium, and that can increase your blood pressure, and it can go into hypertension and all the things, high BP and all. Okay, so the things to avoid here is the added sugars, and added sugars can be also given in multiple ways. Okay, so I'll try to share my screen in YouTube here, just a second. Okay, so I'm not sure whether I can do with this, but let me see. Okay, so here I am sharing my screen here, and let me go into focus. Okay, refocus. Just a second, guys. Refocus. Just a second. I'm trying to show you this. Okay, so here there are many ways to say sugar. Okay, if you're seeing me on Instagram, sorry, because I cannot show the screen, but if you're seeing me on YouTube, you can see right now the screen here, which will be telling there are about 30 ways people are saying sugar in a different terminologies. They are saying the sugar. So I'll just give you some examples here. So brown sugar, that's again a sugar. There is cane sugar, again cane juice, that's a sugar. Corn syrup, that's a sugar. Dextrin, that's a sugar. Dextrose, that is sugar. Fructose, that is sugar. Glucose, that's sugar. Honey, these all are the ways they are telling this is sugar. Lactose, this is again sugar. Liquid fructose, maltose, maple syrup, nectar, raw sugar, sucrose, sugarcane juice. These all are the way they are saying it sugar, but they might not add like if it is not ending with a sugar, maybe we'll not understand it. So you need to see some things like dextrose, dextrin. These all are the ways. Crystal dextrose. This is a form of name of sugar. So these all are the name of sugar you need to be aware of. Okay, if you're not aware of, then probably what would start happening is they will be they will be giving you sugar. We will not be knowing about it. Okay, so next thing which I'll be talking about is the trans fats. Try to avoid trans fat. Just make sure that lesser than 0.5 grams you should have it in your entire container or the servings. Okay, in the servings you just have lesser than 0.5 grams of trans fat. Next one is trans fat is always with the hydrogenated oil. So if you are seeing anything in your oil also, whenever you're buying oil, try to see whether it is a hydrogenated oil. Okay, there will be written hydrogenated oil. What it means is the trans fat level is very high and also the saturated fat level is very high. So try to avoid that. So then the refined grains. Okay, whenever you take grains like your wheat, all these things, try to see whether it is a whole grain or it is an enriched grain or refined grain. So they will give you a terminology of enriched grain, and what it means is it is not a whole grain. Okay, so it's not a whole grain. That's not good for you. Then comes, I think, saturated fat. I have covered it. Solid state, it will be there, so that the shelf life will be higher. Then is it will be increasing the low density lipoprotein, LDL, it will increase. The last one is sodium. Try to avoid sodium as much as possible. Keep it under control, lesser than 2,300 milligrams per day for a normal individual. But somebody who is having hypertension or any of these things, they should consume lesser than 1,500 milligrams. Okay, so that was today's live. Okay, if you liked it, then share your comments, and I'll be doing this on a regular basis. That's it for today, guys. My name is Ravitej, and I'm a certified fitness trainer. See you